and then down one.
Oh, okay.
And OK.
Good. So we're recording now.
That's gone mad. Let's just come down there for a minute. OK, how would you like to just gather round a bit so we can have a little chat about that? Please come back. It was a good question, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was. Okay, would anyone like to share what it was like, firstly, being asked those questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fine. It was it was fine. I didn't have a...
How did it affect you? What's your response to someone taking the time to ask those questions and listen to the answers?
Well, I think it's nice that someone's interested. I don't know, that's probably... Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It was a start.
I felt like it helped me inquire. It sort of felt as though I could sort of start to investigate in a bit more detail about the issues that the problem that I was sort of discussing.
So do you now have a clearer insight into what you really want?
More clear, a little more clear, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else?
I think the question of pain wasn't such a great question for me. It felt like it was taking me into the direction of something negative.
Okay.
And I preferred the other kinds of questions, which are more expansive.
Sure. And so some conversations it's going to be more relevant to talk about pain and others not.
Well, I mean, I could talk about pain, but
Yep. But if you'd come in to Judy and said, "Oh, I've got this pain in my shoulder," it might have been more appropriate for her to say, "Well, you know, is there anything that makes that worse, or when do you particularly notice it?" Or
well, I have got pain in my shoulder, and so I could have that kind of interaction.
Yep.
And I've had lots of interactions like that, but
so if the pain was gone, what would be different in your life?
Take a different direction, I think. And I suppose I'm excited about Feldenkrais because it doesn't have that problem solving of pain shape.
Yep.
It's just a perspective.
Cool.
That's the question I asked.
Well done. Any other comments on being listened to? Okay, what was it like asking the questions?
It was really nice just to be with another human being and ask a question. Thank you very much for remembering to put my back up straight. I have one of those. More of it will arrive. It was really lovely to just sit with somebody and not have to do anything, not have to just find out information. I liked that relaxing, pleasurable interaction.
Remember that sensation.
Well, I went from sort of feeling quite okay about asking questions to feeling really bad about the question that I asked.
Do you want to say a little more about that?
No.
No? Is there anything that would help you feel better again?
I'm never going to ask anybody about pain.
You could probably get through life with that attitude, but maybe we can find a way to to make it easy if it's relevant.
I was asking the question that felt really getting an insight into someone's life. It was really great, and it actually almost felt like it almost felt like what an authentic if I might be like, and to be able to be with that person and imagine for them what it would be like for their life to be improved in 10, 20 years' time, or even now. It was like, oh yeah, wow, that could be quite exciting.
So that you could envisage spending some time helping that person move in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I enjoyed asking Silvana questions, but I noticed that in my listening that I was not just listening to her words, but her body and her language, and noticing her. Sorry, but it was like I was wanting to encompass all of her, and sometimes we say things or not necessarily what we mean, but there's the body language or the intricacies behind what they're actually saying. And so the flexion and extension was really interesting in Silvana. And just like her embodying the thoughts and the feelings that she was expressing at the time, and the change. And I was starting to, I don't know if she was aware, but I was starting to change my body language to try and feel into what she was saying on a sort of a different level. So it was interesting.
Did Leonie get excited about that? I mean, even if we'd put a blanket over, you could probably sense some of that still coming through. If anyone feels anxious about having conversations, there is a blanket up in the bag there that you can hide under. Anyone else want to comment?
To me, it was an exercise that I sort of appreciated and enjoyed to the extent that it felt like an opportunity to be with Fiona and to establish, like, using a style of questioning that was able to establish inroads of insight and relationship that feel sort of the bypass maybe some of the superficiality that is easy to remain in. So for me, it's kind of all equated to a way of relating that feels quite, felt good, felt deep in a way. Like I certainly feel like I have a level of understanding about another human being now that was previously unavailable.
And so if the conversation had kind of gone on to the point... Okay, I'll come back to that one.
Do you want to finish?
No, you can have a go.
I wanted to add to that of Simon in terms of that I really like to ask the questions, not that they didn't have a quality of getting stuck on a like, even if they're touching on a deeper level of of our personality or our motivation, that they're not in terms of looking at problems or like a fixing sort of thing, but that even if they sort of provide still like some flexibility. I felt like they're not, like, what is painful to you right now, like, but they sort of is like, what could be different, or like they're leading out of that depth, and they're not like, bam, we're down there now, sort of thing.
Yeah. Can I just say one more? Yep.
If you don't ask me where it hurts, I'm going to feel like you're ignoring me, because that's the reason I'm there. I'm there because I'm not comfortable, and if you don't ask that question in some way in that framework, if your framework of how you interact or meet the person doesn't include where does it hurt and what would you like more of, I'm going to feel like I have to hide my pain from you because you don't want to know about it. And that's really important, that's part of me is allowed to be there too, because if it's not there, then I'm not going to be able to develop more of what I need and learn to actually move with it. And it's, sorry.
It's certainly part of the picture, and if that's what has brought people into the conversation, then acknowledging that, but being able to lead from this is the whole of my reality at the moment to, yes, I've got this, but what I want really is to be able to do this or to have more of that or to be able to do something that has meaning. And we don't necessarily need to get right into, well, you could still do that and have the pain, but we know that that's maybe an option. We might be able to help them with the pain. There's a fair chance, but maybe not. But we can help them find options to move towards the things that they do want.
When I was asking the questions, I was thinking about how you're really trying to get to know someone more in this context or whatever, and I realised that I often in conversation am intrigued and interested and soften the questions to try and get more information out and realise that you can make the conversation safe and gentle and still be quite direct and still get focused information, which I think I probably do a bit more of around the sides to come in my general way. So it was nice to learn how to still have a safe, engaging conversation, but to the point. And
okay, cool. Yep. So if the next step of the conversation had been the person you were questioning saying, so do you think the Feldenkrais method has something to offer me? Would you feel better equipped to give an honest and useful answer? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
well, you know a little bit already.
That's the big thing that's a gap. The conversation was good and the questions were good and they led into a point where you could see that that what Nicole wanted out of Feldenkrais was going to have some relevance and some value, but there's a gap in terms of how do I explain lucidly what Feldenkrais is and what
she didn't ask you what Feldenkrais is.
No, but I'm saying that's my gap. I don't know. If I'm going to the next stage and I want to say, well, Feldenkrais is great for you. What's Feldenkrais? So it's sort of it's a way to explain that in a
sure.
But
she's given you some clues what she would like to know. It's a way of working with people that helps them find more options in their life. That allows them to find ways of continuing the things that they're passionate about.
Well, I still, to me, that's too broad.
Might be.
Might be, yeah.
You'll get a few more clues between now and when you graduate. Okay, so it's probably lunchtime, but what I'd like you to kind of take away is this idea that when we really listen to people, something different starts to happen in the space. It becomes easier for us to be present and for us to feel safe, that we're not having to do something or fix something, change something, or even explain the Feldenkrais method. It does give us a much better chance of having a conversation where what the Feldenkrais method is doesn't really matter. This person feels safe with me and is willing to spend a little time starting to explore something that we've both named to some degree. And hopefully it's about doing something that matters in that person's life. If we fall into the trap of trying to answer the question, what is Feldenkrais? Have you ever tried to answer the question, what is computer science? What is accounting? What is physiotherapy? It's a huge answer, and people don't really care. What they want to know is this likely to help me get something that's what I want or need just at the moment? And so shaping the conversation, setting up a context in which that's not even the question, is going to make it easier for all of us to figure out whether this is someone I want to spend time in a learning context with or not. You know, you've probably been to various people or practitioners of all kinds of things, and after a few minutes you might have thought, oh, I don't actually want to work with this person. Or they've somehow managed to begin a conversation or relationship where you feel safe to continue on and work with them a little bit longer. And most of us that have kind of been playing this for a little while have had the experience that if we can get started in having a relationship where people trust us to put our hands on them, then we've got a reasonable chance of helping them to continue feeling safe and starting to get curious about how they can participate in the process. It's Tuesday, so it's hour and a half lunch. There's lessons on, so that would be 2:45 when we come back. Have a good lunch.
What's the plan, Lisa?
I can't make it stop.
Okay, stop.
I can't see where you make it stop.